Hello, Peanut Gallery. Today we're gonna be taking out the trash. My bookshelves are now completely filled with books, and if I add anything more to them, I'm gonna have to start like stacking stuff like this, and I don't want to do that. I have a lot of like bad books on my shelves that, first of all, are relatively new releases that I could get decent money from if I just like sold them.
Kicking? Oh, I want to do some kicking!
Second of all, that I just don't want taking up space on my shelf anymore. I also thought that today would be a good day to film because today is the last time in my young life that I will ever be wearing glasses ever. So I figured I should have some kind of final record of what I looked like with glasses so that, you know, the historical record on my channel is complete. I'm breaking the fuck out. You know, my hair dried really weird last night. Overall, the theme of this video is just gonna be trash. So welcome to the landfill, and let's just get started with the unhaul. Okay, so already I know I'm gonna get rid of this one. This I read very recently. This is Illusions, Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah by Richard Bach. I commented on this in my Goodreads review, which if you're not following me on Goodreads, you should, because that is the place to get updates on whatever I'm reading at the time, and it's the place that is the most updated with what I'm reading. There's just a lot of stuff on there that I review there and never really talk about here. So if you want more book content from me, you should follow me there. But no, I got this because it was quoted in Bell Hooks's All About Love, which I really like. And, you know, because I want to root for small weird books like this. But this was basically like a Midwestern Gothic version of The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. It didn't do it for me. It was very kind of ham-fisted, this is what the meaning of life is, and, you know, you read it and it's not anything particularly profound. So yeah, I'm not gonna be keeping this one. I actually liked The Alchemist better. I know that that's a very hated book, but we'll keep Tender as the Flesh for now, just because I might complain about it in an upcoming video. Okay, here's another one that I think I'm gonna get rid of. This is Schmutz by Felicia Berliner, and I simply have to get rid of this because I don't think that I can live with myself if I have a book with a chapter titled Birthday on my shelf. I literally just don't think I can do it. I talked about this in much more depth in another video on my channel. It's the literary fiction sex boom video, and I really wanted to like this. It's about a Russian Orthodox Jewish girl who gets addicted to pornography, which literally, the best concept in the world, but they screwed it up so bad. Very, very weird, structure in this book overall. It feels like half of the book is missing, kind of. Yeah, I don't know. Deeply, deeply unsatisfying book. Kind of, gimmicky a little bit. So many of the books that I'm going to be getting rid of today are literally also the most expensive books on my shelf. Because they're, new releases that I had to get new, and that just... Always buy old, used books. I can't stress this enough. Okay, so that's the first shelf done. So now we have the second shelf. Can you even see it? Yeah. And I think the only one that I'm gonna get rid of here is yet another fucking cash cow. This is another one from the literary fiction's sex boom video that I destroyed in it because it deserves to be destroyed. This is The Hop by Diana Clark. This book should have been a Twitter thread, basically. It literally was the most infuriating preachy, but also completely uneducated book that I have ever read in my entire life. Like, it literally is like a person with no brain cells wrote this. This feels like a federal agent who hates women wrote it. It is literally the most offensive, probably honestly the most offensive thing I've read in like a really long time. And like, I have a very thick skin when it comes to stuff like that. I don't know, I feel like a lot of times other people are blowing up about a book and like I read it and I'm like, well, this is like mostly fine. Like this, it's like everybody loves it on Goodreads, but it literally is like probably one of the most offensive things that I've ever read in my life. Completely fucking disgusting. If you want to hear more about it, watch my literary fiction sex boom video. This is the second book that I talk about in it. Next. So third shelf, this is Marbles by Ellen Forney. This is literally about an artist. It's a graphic memoir about like her experiences dealing with bipolar disorder. What is there really to say? It's like a very pro-psychiatry book, and it kind of, I didn't like really find any of the perspectives in it groundbreaking, and I found it, yeah, look, so I found it pretty, like a little bit like offensive, the way that she like draws herself in relation to her mental illness. That very much is like not how I see like mental illness. I understand that certain people do need like help functioning due to like mental divergences and things like that, but like it's very difficult for me to picture like something like the bipolar disorder that she gets diagnosed with in this as like something like broken or sick or wrong. And so when I see like caricatures like this that are drawn by herself, it just like feels a little bit like, are you sure you want to draw yourself that way? I just like found it really like sad because it felt like there was a lot of just like self-hatred and like a little bit of like a lack of self-acceptance in this. It's so funny because I was going through like a big anti-psychiatry phase when I was reading this, and now I'm just like literally in conversation with doctors trying to figure out like if I should be on meds basically, and all the time that I'm doing it I'm just like, well, but this low-key isn't real. I don't know, like I just like, I feel like there were no answers in this. Like I feel like I was just like, what's the point? Like this was very much like, it reminded me of like Take Your Meds 2016 Tumblr, like that mentality of like, you know, you should seek out like a panacea for all your problems in the form of a pill, when the kind of like really unfortunate reality is that like, first of all, we don't know how most psych meds work, and second of all, like even the diagnostic process for mental illnesses is really shaky, and there's so much overlap between diagnoses that it's really, really easy to be incorrectly diagnosed and just given the wrong meds. And so it's basically like you're just throwing shit at the wall to see what works. And that was like in this, but I don't know. It felt like it was a little bit self-blamey, and like it was like, oh, I'm just so broken that we can't find the correct meds or whatever. And I was just like, I don't know. I found this really just depressing and frustrating to read. By the way, I'm gonna plug this here really quick. If you're curious about like psychiatry critical perspectives, definitely check out like, especially if you've never heard of this before and you just want to poke around a little bit. Bonnie Burstow wrote an amazing book that I read last year called Psychiatry and the Business of Madness. Don't read the last chapter because it sucks ass, but like she, for most of the book, does an amazing job like just documenting like all of the logical problems with the way that psychiatry like currently works, and I love it so much. But yeah, so we're getting rid of this one. So this is The Little Paris Bookshop by Nina George. This is yet another book that was originally in German that I just despised. I don't know what it is about books written originally in German, but this is the third one that I have read that I hated. Like I think I just hate German writing in translation to English. Because what I'm guessing is happening is that it sounds very good and lyrical in German because they have like very long words. And then you put it in English and instead you get like a lot of very short words strung together, and so it doesn't sound good anymore. But I don't know, like, because I tried reading Austerlitz by whoever that's by, and I couldn't do it. Like, it just it was like unreadable. Like, the book opens on this like long convoluted description of architecture, and like there's no grounding whatsoever in the plot. And so I had to quit that one literally like 30 pages in because the architecture description was still going. I don't know what was going on with that. And then I read Identity by whoever that's by, which I'm actually going to unhaul in a second here. And that also was like really awkward and horrible and weird and like trying to be funny but wasn't funny. And then I read this, which also was like trying to be funny that wasn't funny. Either I hate German humor or it just like does not translate whatsoever, because this is literally like the cheesiest, like, but not like cheesy as in like I'm having fun, like Twilight kind of way, like cheesy as in like, just no. It's just about this guy who has like a floating bookshop on the river in Paris, and there's this like famous, like, I guess haughty male author who has like bad mental health problems, and it's like a what about men's mental health kind of thing, because like the book's stance is like, oh well, the guy with the floating barge on the river takes care of everybody's mental health but his own. It's like, imagine a men's rights activist and Willy Wonka are like on a boat together, just bonding over their shared trauma. You know, there's like a letter that Willy Wonka has never read, and it's just like, you know, it's a whole thing. I DNF'd this at a certain point. I know Oprah recommended it, but just don't. I hate when like I've got shit that like I don't want anymore, but I can't get rid of it because I know it's just gonna get recycled if like I don't keep it, because they're never gonna be able to sell it. Like, you're never gonna be able to sell Marlowe, Tamberlane, and Magic. Alright, so I think, I actually don't know. I should get rid of Life After Genius, which is the worst book that I think I've ever read in my entire life, but it's so funny too that I kind of want to keep it. BT dubs, if you haven't seen, like, I'm sorry I'm plugging so many videos, but nobody pays attention to me, so I literally have to. This is like the best content on my entire channel. Watch my Actually It's Worse Than We Could Have Ever Possibly Imagined video about this book if you're curious to know what it's about. This book changed me for the worse. I think it's like a keepsake now. I don't think I can get rid of it. I kind of want to get rid of Breaking Bread with the Dead, honestly. This is kind of like Coddling of the American Mind light. Maybe I'll keep it for a little while longer. I don't know. Okay, so I think I'm gonna get rid of Patient by Bettina Judd. This is just a bunch of poems about her experience as a Black woman dealing with the medical system. This is from class. I am really not a poetry person, so that's why this is going, basically. We also have to get rid of The Stationery Shop by Marjan Kamali, which is about, it's like a tragic love story, basically, that, where does this take place? I'm 99% sure that it's about Iran, and it's just like a tragic lost love story. I like don't like stuff like this that much. I loved it, and it was like really well written, but I actually like don't like tearjerker books that are kind of like intended to be upsetting in this way. Like, I actually found this like really triggering to read, to be honest, so it's just gotta go. This just felt a little bit like we're gonna make it traumatic and like make you cry. So yeah, I don't know. I gotta get rid of it. So let's lower down a little bit more. Ow! Oh my god. Ow, am I bleeding? That's real, by the way. That actually just happened. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get rid of anything down here. I am a little bit tempted to get rid of Moby Dick, because this really is not my jam, but I guess the stack is already pretty big, so I can always do an unhaul later. I'm gonna cut and move us to the other bookshelf and hopefully bandage my hand. So I actually don't think I'm gonna get rid of anything on this top shelf. Does anyone else have that problem where if something is like a classic, you have like a really hard time getting rid of it because you just feel like you're like supposed to have a copy? That's just the way that I feel. But on this second shelf, I'm actually gonna get rid of a lot of stuff. So the first thing that I'm gonna let go of is So You've Been Publicly Shamed by John Ronson. This is about like modern public shaming in the digital age. And I picked this up because Ariel Bissett recommended it. I didn't really feel like it was particularly insightful. Like, this kind of treats empathy like it's this like brand new concept. The thesis of this book is basically like, don't be a sociopath and get off on power tripping over somebody because they fucked up. I just like didn't find that super insightful. Wow, can you believe that this person who like had their words taken out of context and was like raked over the coals, can you believe they're like a real person? I don't know, to me that's just like not really like revolutionary or anything, and I'm done with it. Sally Rooney, Beautiful World, Where Are You is the next one to go. If I have to read one more book where getting pregnant is the solution to all of a woman's emotional problems, I'm gonna flip my shit. I don't know why that is such a fucking popular trope, but I'm just gonna say it, it's gotta stop now. This is like a Tumblr post in a book, and that's like really all you need to know about it. I did not vibe with that so hard. I'm also gonna get rid of American Pastoral by Philip Roth. I DNF'd this 28 pages in because I could just tell that I really wasn't liking the writing style. It's a Pulitzer Prize winner, so it's supposed to be very good. I actually don't even remember that much of what this is about. It's very like kind of masculinist, and I found the writing really, really tedious. God, this shelf has been decimated by the purge. I'm also gonna get rid of Identity by Mithu Sanyal. Yeah, another German translated book. This is about a race studies professor who basically gets found out that she's white, and she like pretended to not be white, which sounds like a very amazing and titillating concept. I don't know how the author fumbled the bag this badly, but as I said in my Goodreads review, this should have been a medium think piece, not a novel. If you're gonna write like a fake debate between a professor and Jordan Peterson, it's gotta be funny, and it wasn't funny. I tapped out at page 80. I'm pretty sure that the word appears on literally page 4. And I probably should have stopped there, but I kept going. And basically the book didn't get better. There are no characters in this. Like, the people just have no character. It just like, there are like whole fake like Twitter usernames and Twitter threads. And like, it's not like all stuff that's important to the plot. It's just meant to like set the scene. And it's just like, I'm sorry, but like fake Twitter threads and fake like Twitter names and shit, it's always gonna be just like lame as shit.
Laugh out loud.
No matter how entrenched digital society becomes, it's always gonna be lame as shit to see you making up Twitter usernames that are like supposed to be real people. Cause like her trying to come up with like Twitter usernames for like made up just like alt-right people and stuff is just like, I didn't need to see that, you know. I read books to get away from that shit. Oh god, and she tries to come up with like Twitter usernames for like like feminists too. And the usernames are like kill all men 666 vibe, I guess, but like it's pretty cringe. That whole book is just like embarrassing. This book is upside down. So we're gonna get rid, I think, of both my Mark Twains. I don't like Mark Twain. I've had to read so much Mark Twain, and I regret to inform you that I just don't like it. I think I just don't like American literature as much as British literature. I think that's just the way that I feel. Actually, I like American women's literature sometimes, but like American men's writing, especially from like this time, I just like, I don't know what it is, but there is like a particular style to it that I really, really don't like. So yeah, so we're gonna get rid of A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. This is about a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. So it's a time travel story. It sounds very amusing, but it does have kind of a very narrow view of what people in the Middle Ages like would have actually been like. It ascribes to this view that people in medieval times were just stupid, like kind of like animals, and that they just had no critical thinking skills, and that kind of implies like a liberal progress narrative of history where like you start down here and you like move up towards enlightenment, and that really isn't like how society works at all. So I don't know, it's short-sighted in that way, and again, the writing style doesn't do it for me, so we're tossing that. And I think I'm finally gonna get rid of number 44, The Mysterious Stranger, too. I actually don't remember this super well. I remember this book being extremely strange. I remember being amused by it, but I just wasn't like, I wasn't enchanted by it like I'm enchanted by like George Eliot. We're just gonna get rid of it. I know I said that it's hard for me to get rid of classics, but it's hard for me to get rid of classics unless they're Mark Twain. Let me show you the stack of what I took off my shelves today. So this is everything that I removed today. This should give me some more room to add books to my shelf as I read through them. I have a very big TBR stack on the side of my bed right now and have big plans for things that I want to read this summer before I'm forced to start reading for school again. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying for like a book a day or a book every 2 days when I'm reading shorter, easier stuff. I just finished A Passage to India by E.M. Forster though, and that took me longer than that. I wasted like a fucking week on that, and I didn't really like it that much. Yeah, if you want to read E.M. Forster, just read Maurice. I still have to read Howard's End though, so maybe I'll like that one better, but A Passage to India had just the writing style I didn't like. Yeah, so what I'm going to be doing with all these books is taking them to the used bookstore and selling them for store credit. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this unhaul, and I have some very fun things coming to this channel very soon. So keep an eye out for that. And in the meantime, you should check out the videos that I mentioned in this video. That's it. Bye.